Greetings, humanity, and welcome once more to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and this is the continuation of a game that I've written called Hidden Qualities. This is a story game where the players are people who work together in space, and the game explores what happens to their personalities and their relationships as a result. These folks were very, very kind to leap back in because we didn't quite finish last time, and just sort of to see kind of what the remaining rounds of the game do. And so I'm excited to see that as well. So we're just going to go around and say hi to everybody, and once again try to remember who we are and who we're playing. I am playing the engineer, Mark. French last name. I will try to remember what that is in a little. Guillaume, Mark Guillaume. There we go. It's only been 5 days, and already it's because the last 5 days have been at least 3 months long apiece. So let's go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody. Starting with Alyx. Hello. Yay. Cool. And now let us head down to Ulfrigg. Hello. Awesome. And finally over to Rrok. Hello. Yes. I am just going to fix a thing whilst I'm doing this other thing, because I just noticed a thing, and it's like let's fix the thing. But in the meantime, just before we dive in fully here, just as a reminder, we are going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that is crossing a line for one of the players, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we will back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we just sort of want to fade to black on it, we can put an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll go ahead and we'll put it behind available, fade to black on it, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. I've just noticed a thing. Also, apparently, the thing that I didn't fix was the... Guess what I didn't fix? Guess what it was? It was the audio. There. I am terribly sorry they weren't able to hear you a moment ago, because I am an imbecile. But we have. I think we can. I think we can hear them now. Hear everyone now, probably. Hi, how's everyone doing?
Good. I realized we should probably speak so you can hear us. As we all stare silently and wave.
In this game,
it's been a week.
It's been a week. Communicating telepathically.
Jim, every time you do that, I just start going like.
Sorry.
I love it.
Can you hear everyone now? Are we good?
We are professionals. God. We promise. We know how to internet.
I knew how to internet once. I have trouble remembering. Okay. I don't want to make you do all that again. So we are as we appear on the screen, and the names are there, and you will see them. But in the meantime, hopefully. But then again, also, I'm reminded that not necessarily some people are just only going to be hearing this. So we have Alyx, they them, playing Dekra, who is also they them, the medic. We have Ulfrigg, she they, playing Zayla, who is she her, and the scientist. And we have Rrok, he him, playing Horace, who is also he him, the navigator. Okay. Now that hopefully I have caught up with now that my brain has almost caught up with where we are. We are using the X card, the N card, and the O card. X card will be used if something happens we're okay having, we just want to back up and do something else. We don't want to have, we're not okay having in the game. We want to back up and do something else. N card is we're okay having it in the game, but we want to throw a veil on it. We want to fade to black on it. Won't go into detail on it. If we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let folks know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. And that's, I think, all the stuff. Yay, made it through. Okay. All right. It's been a day, or possibly several days. So this game. Let me actually reopen the current version of the rules that we are using. So we left off. I think, did we do our end of first round? I think we did our end of first round mission reports at the end, and that was like the last thing we did, if I recall correctly. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And so what we have left now to do is going into the second round. So we've challenged already the minor hidden qualities that each of us possesses, each of our characters possesses. And now it goes a level deeper, and we are going to be testing the major hidden qualities that each character possesses. And we go into a scene that we each, when it's your turn, you set up a scene designed to where your character is going to have to make a choice during that scene whether to reveal the major quality. And so that is where we are now. As I recall, we are on we're on a survey ship sent out from a larger generation ship to try and find these, try and see if the planet we're headed to is going to be habitable, or, well, I think we know it looks habitable. We're looking to see if it is suitable. We only have so much information about it now. So we're going to go ahead and kind of leap into that. So as we are kind of doing stuff, so let's see. I think I was going first by way of demonstration, so I'll go ahead and do that again. So for Mark, the major hidden quality that we're going to be testing this round is has designed weapons. I think I remember the kind of scene that I was wanting to set up for this, actually. So I think this is going to be this is going to be a work scene, basically. The thing that's going to be happening, I think, is that we're going to be down in engineering. It'll be Mark and Horace and Dekra. And Mark is going to be showing them, wanting to sort of come up with a possible idea for something, and is going to be showing that to folks. And basically in this scene, once again, the job in this scene is to test the hidden quality to see if this is going to come out or not. And so I basically got these. I've got these sort of asked you down. Sort of got these plans up on the holo projector. He's kind of messing with, and he just sort of looks up and he's like, good. Hey, I just kind of wanted to. I just want to run something by you folks, to try to help out, because I know we're getting into the path we're on is going to be getting a little bit, just sort of possibility of a lot of debris. Am I right about that? You are muted.
Yes, that is correct, Mark. We are, from what I'm seeing on the charts, it does look like there is a bit. Can't tell if it's asteroid or meteor or cosmic dust or what, but there does appear to be something up ahead that it's pretty wide scattered.
Okay.
Going around it would had weeks travel.
So I think I figured something out. So I've been sort of banging my head against it for the last few days, and something I can do here. And he pulls it up, and it looks kind of like a gun. And he pulls it up, and he says, "So we've got a tertiary plasma emitter that's not doing anything. So I've realized I can reconfigure this to make it so that we can actually use it to, force the plasma into a concentrated stream ahead, and knock some of those things out of the way." And so this is the preliminary model that I've sort of threw together. And looking at it, I think that Deeker probably would realize that this looks very much like plasma cannon.
Yeah, Deekra's going to lean in a little bit and look at the console where you have the gun displayed.
Yeah. Do you think this
Mark,
would be viable?
this design is where did you find schematics for this? This is a unique, somewhat proprietary design.
Yeah, it's an old one I dug up. I've got a lot of archives of different things, and this is just one of the things that I managed to put together, sort of from that.
I know that you collect, and that you are, from what I've heard, keen on photographs, but this would require more than historical knowledge from a still. This would require deep engineering understanding.
Well, I mean, it's I studied a number of things. I'm not just a one-trick pony here.
Well, I mean, he is an engineer.
As far as Harst, do you think if I was to start putting this together, do you think we'd have time? Do you think this would work?
I mean, I could slow down our approach slightly. Certainly, I mean, if we can push some of the debris out of the way, or shoot it out of the way, it would allow us to go through instead of having to go around.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that might help us with our, that and the supply situation and all that.
I think if we were to put this on our ship, we might be viewed as a hostile, weaponized force. This design is endemic of It looks somewhat military.
Maybe you can help me make it look a little different then. Maybe. You think? Because I don't want that. Obviously, we don't want that. Of course, I don't know who we're going to run into, but it's definitely not really my intention here.
You never know. I mean, we might... If we get to a planet that's capable of sustaining our life, it's possible that it's already sustaining some other kind of life. I mean, I'm not exactly necessarily happy with the idea of going in with a gunship. This is, after all, a survey probe, but...
Well, how about after we get it... Well, okay. But we could, just put it on temporarily for just until we get through the field and then take it off again. Or jettison it.
Mark, I don't care if we have a weapon attached to our ship. What I am more curious about is...
I kind of do, but yeah.
How did you come by this design?
It's, it's just something I've had lying around for a while. And he just sort of looks up at, and he actually, he will look up and he's going to just sort of give you a look that's almost kind of like that, just sort of, he's kind of just sort of, I think at this point in the room he's a little bit closer to Dekra right now, just sort of talking, and he just sort of looks up and gives us sort of a look of just sort of an almost pleading, not now type look as far as that goes. And what you'll both hear him say is, he'll say, the last thing I want, and he looks and he's just sort of looking at Adigro. He says this, obviously he's saying this loud for everybody. The last thing I want is for anything that I build to be used against a living target. Believe me, that is absolutely the last thing that I want at this, and so I wouldn't be putting this idea forward if we had a better solution to being able to hit the planet when we need to.
Well, I mean, if all we're doing is just using it for space debris, I mean, I guess, I mean, it's like having a water cannon on the front of the ship, and we'll just use it to get through, and then after that, yeah. I mean, I don't see any reason why we need to have it on there. I gotta admit, I'm a little curious as to how you cobbled this together. I mean, but I mean, is this going to be something that's like easy for you to do? I mean, this looks pretty involved. Are you familiar with everything that needs to be done in order to put this together?
Well, if I think with our medic's help, I could probably take care of it.
I think, and Dekra comes over and pulls up on the other console a very generic schematic of mining equipment and flips through quickly. I think if we were to modify it slightly to look like this, and points at an elongated piece of mining equipment that's used to break up large rocks, from space so that they can dig to the core of planets faster. I think if we were to modify the device that you have designed to perhaps have the same amount of power but look a bit more like this, then perhaps it would be less alarming should someone else recognize the style of what you have created.
Yeah, the mining tool designs that I'd looked at hadn't really worked out, but that one there looks a lot. Yeah, that looks very promising. Yeah. I think that would. We can definitely do that.
What is nice about what you have created here is you remove this, and you points at the schematic of the mining equipment. You see this long time it takes to prep itself. It needs to heat for quite some time before it can discharge. What you have is elegant. It can discharge much faster with similar impact, at least at close range. It's an elegant creation.
Thanks. So, what do you folks think? Think we should give it a shot? Give it a try?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything that helps prevent us from having to go, weeks out of the way.
All right, well.
Very well.
Start looking at it. And he sort of nods, and it'll be one of those things where where he's actually kind of sort of waiting for waiting/dreading to see if I don't know who's leaving the room first. Basically, is what it comes. That's how the end of the scene will go.
I think Horace would probably leave because, I mean...
All right. So when Horace takes off, and he sort of nods, he just sort of... Mark will just sort of calm down a little bit, and he'll say, "Thank you. I'm not who I used to be.
Neither am I.
Yeah. These days I'm a pacifist. And that's what I'm hoping to be judged on."
Well, if this journey can give us anything, perhaps it can give us all a fresh start.
That's what I'm hoping.
It is a very well-designed piece of equipment. You must have been very talented.
It's a little too talented.
I recognized it because I used to hold its smaller counterpart a lifetime ago.
Yeah, I was, I was wondering about that. All right. Thanks. Guess I'll get to work with the modifications.
I will go see what Horace needs in order to get the ship prepped so that we can mount it.
All right, gotcha. And I think that'll be the scene. So this is I'm sort of toying, skirting around the edge here with the idea, with the definitions here. But I'm figuring revealing to one member of the crew does not necessarily, but you can like one member of the crew can know, but the rest, if the rest don't, then I figure we could still call that hidden. If you folks are good with that. So I kind of would like to do is I'm now removing this major hidden quality, has designed weapons, and I came up with a new quality which is pacifist. So yeah, basically, so that it's still a thing, an element of his past, but it's no longer a thing that's going to be defined, a thing that the whole crew will know. The whole crew will know that he's a pacifist, but it's sort of a way in which he's changing and adjusting to everybody. And so now we go over to Alyx to test the major quality of like soft things.
Oh, delightful. So, I am thinking that this could just maybe be one of those maybe casual scenes similar to the birthday party that we had before. Maybe we're all sitting down to another meal. Maybe this has become our communal habit now because we know Horace likes it and clearly Zayla likes it, and Dekra would never admit but also kind of likes it. And we're sitting down having one of our meals, and I just happen to be wearing something that I normally don't wear, like an oversized sweater with some kind of lining inside of it, like lined with some kind of the equivalent of, sheepskin, probably some kind of space synthetic. But it's uncharacteristic because usually I'm always wearing the same very clean cut functional clothing. Does that work for everyone? Cool. And I think this would just be a scene with everyone and we're just chatting around a table. Maybe Zayla's explaining something about the plants lately.
Or asking Dekra about how their lavender is growing.
Oh, yeah. I haven't killed it yet. It seems content in my space, though I don't have much in the way of what you have in the botany lab.
Oh, that's part of why I chose lavender for you. They're pretty tolerant plants, especially to variable light levels and stuff. So, has it started blooming at all?
Yes, it did, in fact, a few days ago. It has grown quite a bit, too. Do they get large?
Depends on how you treat them. Like, if they've got as many blooms as you think they're going to get, if you trim it back to like a third of its size, then it'll grow right back out and get even bigger. But if you just let the first growth continue, it actually won't get as big. It's kind of weird that way.
Interesting. I will observe it as it grows. Will admit I have never quite watched a plant that closely before.
It's really fascinating, isn't it? Like everyone thinks that they're dumb, but they actually have admittedly like non-sentient intelligence, but some sort of intelligence to be able to adapt to the way that they do.
Oh. And I don't suppose Mark or Horace, have either of you managed to keep your plants alive?
Mine is not dead yet.
Mine's okay. It's kind of starting to take over the wall a little in my room, so I sort of need to figure that out.
The wall?
Has it started dropping babies?
Are you supposed to prune it or something? Because it's I wasn't clear on kind of the timing there.
You have the spider plant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it starts dropping the little baby spiders off the side, you can just pick them off, and that'll keep it from taking over the entire wall. Otherwise,
Okay.
yeah, it'll totally
Right.
take over the room.
Yeah.
Dekra slowly looks more and more horrified as you describe the spider plant that dropping baby spiders, and quietly pulls their hands inside their sleeves and just sort of leans back in their chair.
It's not an actual spider. There are no spiders involved. They're just spider plants because they've got lots of little shoots that look like spider. Oh my god, there is so much cat hair here now. Sorry. He's just out of frame, but I have a little floof curled up against me. We're shedding like crazy, apparently. Yeah, they just have these little like legs or leaves that come out, and they look kind of like spiders if you really use your imagination, but you have to really use your imagination.
Huh.
Yeah.
The plant that you gave me, I'm unfamiliar with it. It has these tufts on it. They're like soft and white.
Oh yeah, you got the cottonwood tree. Oh well, it's not going to be a tree because it doesn't have enough room, but you know, they're a dwarf cotton tree, we'll say, cottonwood tree. And yeah, oh, I love those. They're so fluffy, aren't they? It's like little bunnies growing on the tree.
Yeah, they remind me of back on the ship. I had a sister that, I mean, she was really young, but the toys that she had kind of soft, like the plant.
Mm-hmm.
It's a soft plant?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, it you touch it, it's kind of squishy and kind of almost furry, like your sweater there.
Ah.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
think
I understand.
Oh, is that? You haven't hauled that out for the duration of the trip. I hadn't seen that one before.
I did not wish to be late to dinner, so I did not change beforehand.
It's nice.
Thank you.
Punctual is good.
It's yeah, that looks like it would pretty soft, pretty warm.
Comfy.
I suppose, yes. Those are correct adjectives for this article of clothing.
You know, I was about to suggest to Horace about, like, if he's having trouble with, like, his plant, about possibly swapping. But I mean, if you'd rather take a stab at taking care of the dwarf cottonwood, then, you know, I mean, two of you could swap or something if you want. I mean, I'm just saying if you'd rather have it. Otherwise, I mean, I'll take it if you don't want it. But you know,
No,
Lavender. I mean, that's a pretty nice smelling plant, isn't it? That has a really nice smell to it.
Yes, its smell is satisfactory.
And it doesn't really require a lot of care and attention, right? Like, I mean, I don't have to, like, always be around it, do I?
No, Zayla perhaps would, but I admit that I have been somewhat negligent with it, and it seems okay.
Zayla looks a little bit uncomfortable at the mention of being negligent of plants, but doesn't say anything.
You know, I mean, hey, if you want to, I mean, I don't really spend a lot of time in my room. I'm usually up on the bridge, so, you know, I mean, if you want to exchange plants, then
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that would be a interesting experiment to run, and I would be glad to participate in it.
Have any of you named your plants?
I call it sheep, because that's what it reminds me of.
Adorable.
Mm,
Sheep are the ones that go
No.
bad, right?
That's what the records say.
Okay.
They were also used to make clothing. That is what this is made out of on the inside.
It's made out of sheep?
The wool. The
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But, like, they don't have to kill the whole sheep to... Do they kill the whole sheep?
No, they shave them. They they needed it when they did exist some time ago.
That's bizarre. Well, like, I know they have the embryos on storage in the generation ship, but, like, how do you shave? I'm gonna do some research on this. This is weird and awesome.
Yeah, they used to have these things called barber shops. You might want to look into. They were like, it's hard to explain. It's not like we do. I mean, I know back on the ship we we just cut our own hair, but they actually had people do it for you. It was it was a job.
Would the barbers also cut the sheep?
I think that was a different job, but it was similar to. Yeah, I mean, it was like dedicated to like doing that to animals, I think.
Are there other animals that got shaved?
I think so.
Like, I know a lot about wild biota. I don't know very much about, like, domesticated animals at all.
Yeah, people
really.
used to do it. People used to, take. You used to hack hair off their pets all the time. It was there was a fad that went on for like about a century or so. It was interesting and highly disturbing.
I might get you to, like, vet some of those some of those photos before passing them on if it is that disturbing.
Oh well, okay. It's probably it's fine. It's not too graphic. It's just okay. Maybe one or two of the hairless type. Well, anyway, yeah. But it's pretty. Yeah, it should be fine.
But Dikra, it's real, like, sheep hair. It's not a synthetic thing.
Yes, I believe so. So I was told when I purchased it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Would you like to touch it?
Yes, please. Can I, please?
And Dikra just kind of reaches up and takes the sweater off and hands it over to you.
Zayla, like, cautiously touches it and then is just, like, face first into the lining and is like, oh my god, it's so soft and fuzzy. I can see why you like this so much. It's amazing. Face back in the sweater.
If you would like, I do have some other smaller things made of the same material.
Ooh.
If you would like one in exchange for the plant you have given us.
I mean, if you think it's a fair exchange, if it's real, like, sheep hair, that oh, and she carefully hands the sweater back. Like, I didn't damage it, did I?
Dikra takes it. No,
Okay.
you could not damage it. This way, I've had it for a very long time.
Okay, cool.
Dikra
Yeah.
puts it back on.
So wait, you have other? Are they like real sheep things, or are they just soft and
Yes.
fuzzy like this one?
I do have other things that are of a similar molecular compound and are, I suppose, to tactile senses would be considered soft and or fuzzy or warm.
Huh. Never would have taken you for someone that collects soft and fuzzy.
Yes, well, I am. I will leave it by your quarters, Zayla. And Dika stands up and just kind of looks at everyone. And Horace, I will come later to trade plans with you. I thank you for a lovely meal. There is something I need to do.
Drop by the botany lab later. We can get some lamb's ear planted. More sheep references. I think you'd like the lamb's ear. They're also fuzzy.
And Dika stops on the way out and just kind of turns around. I will be by later then. And takes a moment to look at all of you. Thank you. This was a very nice meal and conversation. And then runs away. Walks swiftly.
Zayla is just going to turn to the other two and go, "Oh, she likes fuzzy things. That's so sweet."
I'm now worried about my archives. There are so many pictures of cats in there.
That's too real.
Oh, you never know, Mark. They might enjoy looking at those pictures.
That's what I'm saying. So I guess that's the probably the scene end there.
That is now a visible quality.
Excellent. Yay!
Still an extreme source of embarrassment, which was why it was a major one.
Oh, that's cool though. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay, so we go around then to Zayla. We're testing rigidly self-disciplined as a major quality. So you get to set a scene for us possibly finding that, or you're replacing it with something else.
Can I try something maybe a little weird and do like 3 very short scenes, one with each of you?
Yeah, if you got an idea, sure.
Okay.
We can do whatever we want.
Okay. So I think I'll start with Horace, and this is probably a little time after the conversation about this is probably a little time after the conversation about the dust cloud, and Zayla is going to head up to the cockpit and just be like, "Hey, Horace, how's it going?"
It's going well. We seem to be on course. Mark seems to have come up with an idea for being able to, we'll blast our way through the debris field. That way we won't have to go around it.
Will that impact our ability to, get the long-range sensor data that we need? Well, that I need? And should be done, now? I know we can't because there's a debris cloud or whatever, but do you know when it'll be there?
Well, I mean, if we're able to go through the debris cloud, it will make it easier. I mean, we'll be able to get it sooner. If we had to go around the debris the cloud, you'd be talking about adding a few weeks to the journey, and there's also the fact that anything that was on the other side of the cloud, we wouldn't be able to pull up. Going through the cloud should only take maybe a few days.
Oh, that much time off. Oh, okay. So the sensor data will be ready in another week, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, we should be able to yeah, within about a week. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. I really need it, especially if we're taking months off the trip. It's really important that I get it.
Okay. I mean, I don't see why that shouldn't be a problem,
Okay. Cool. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I'll check back with you in a week then.
Okay.
And Zaylee heads out. A couple of days passed, and Zayla finds Mark down in wherever Mark is chilling.
Do you want it during his chill time or his work time?
I think these are probably all work time.
Okay, so he's probably down in engineering, and he might have music playing while he's working.
Hey, Mark.
Hey. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I think we've just kind of adjusting the to do a few manual adjustments to the plasma coils here, but we're good for the most part. Yeah, we should be. I think we're practically ahead of schedule, which is a first for us. So I'm kind of pleased by that.
Yeah. Yeah, being ahead of schedule is great. It presents no extra challenges whatsoever. Anyway, okay.
He kind of climbs down from the thing that he's been working on, and just sort of is kind of bopping to the music as he comes closer to you.
Can I ask, as part of your adjustment of the plasma thingies, have you been rerouting power from the environmental controls?
And he goes over, and he goes over. Nope. He just goes over, but then he punches a few things. He sort of turns and half dances over to a panel. And he punches up a few things. He's like, nope. Yeah, just double checking, because I did grab a little bit from. I did have to slow us down just a teeny bit, but we're good.
And that would have been about 6.5 hours ago?
That would have been, he says, he looks, exactly 6.5 hours ago.
Yeah, can you let me know before you reroute power that might affect the botany lab? I noticed a 1.3% decrease in CO2 throughput, and that has implications for the plants.
And just sort of, so he's like, yeah, I mean, I can, yeah, sure, I can do that. Everything okay up there?
I mean, so far, yeah. I just, want it to keep going okay, you know? Yeah.
You look a little bit stressed.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You sure you're good?
Yeah, we just have, not as much time to do some things as I thought. So there's a lot to get done very quickly, but I've got it. I can handle it.
And it's like, all right, well, I mean, don't overwork yourself here, because, we can't, if we burn out now, then we won't have anything for when we get to our destination,
Oh, believe me, I know. Okay, but you'll let me know if you change power to environmental or anything, or if you draw extra for your plasma stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Mark. I gotta get back to the lab. Bye.
Interesting.
And the last one is with Dikwa, probably while Dikwa is helping in the lab.
Okay.
And this one might be a little bit different, because I think they probably have the closest relationship so far. But each time when you come in, Zayla is usually in kind of, depending on what day it is, of a 10-day rotation in one of 5 spots when you come in, if you come in at the same time. It's that precise.
And I do come in at the same time.
And this time you notice that she is just a little bit behind where she would usually be, and is just sniffling a little bit.
Zayla? Is everything... they're going to hesitate, but then very carefully, so that if you wanted to, you could easily shake them off, put a hand on your shoulder. Is everything okay?
And she's just kind of gonna shrug the hand off and be like, we're just, I'm just running a little bit behind and have been for a couple of days. Do you think you could help by doing the trimmings on the spinach and weighing the offcuts? I know you don't usually do that, but it would help me know I can get through everything.
Of course, I would, as always, be glad to assist you in any way that I can. But I am... it is okay that we are perhaps a little behind. We have time.
No, we don't. We really, really don't have time, because we're going through instead of around the cloud, and if we go through, then we don't have time for everything to germinate in the proper order, and that's going to throw off soil compositions, because I was planning on companion planting some of these things that, like, but the season, and we don't know what season it's gonna be when we arrive, and...
Zayla? And Dika's gonna get down to your level, so get down on one knee, kind of in front of you. I do not want to... It sounds like perhaps in our haste to get to our destination, we assumed that the destination was all that mattered, but perhaps we should have considered the time that you needed to finish, well, with the organic side of things that clearly cannot be rushed.
I can do the work. I can do it.
Of course you
I
can.
just have to work harder.
No. We will work harder together. And we will get everything done. May I ask you a personal question? Are you... How... I do not, again, want to presume, but you seem distraught. Are you having trouble breathing? Is your heart racing?
I'm fine. I just have to keep working.
You work very hard, Zayla. You keep us alive in a way that Mark cannot, in the way that Horace cannot. Your health, your happiness is important to all of us.
I will keep that in mind.
I know that when we do this together, we will get it done faster than when you were doing it by yourself, yes?
Yeah.
When I was younger, and I would feel similar.
Can we work while you tell your story?
Of course. And Dika's gonna start cutting, as you show Dika how they should do it, start cutting the spinach leaves and culling them back. I would sometimes get overwhelmed by the enormity of what we were trying to accomplish. And my commander would remind me that it is not one person who makes a mission successful. It is all of us working together, and that I should not carry all of the weight on my own. And Hearing it is not the same as believing it, but I hope you know that you do not need to carry our success or our failure all on your shoulders.
Thank you for helping with the spinach. It's a big relief.
Always. And perhaps if you like when we are done, because we do need to occasionally walk away from the thing that is making us feel a certain way. I still need to finish walking around the ship. You are welcome to walk with me. It does not take long.
I'm supposed to have my strengthening routine so that I don't have atrophied muscles when we get to the planet and stuff.
Well, perhaps we could find a way to do both. It is, I think, a good way sometimes to center ourselves, to perhaps break the routine just a little bit, though I would be asking you to change your routine in favor of my routine.
Did you ever do that in the military?
Yes. I myself was poor at it in the beginning, but I was fortunate to have fellow officers I served with who would make me. And I learned over time that they were right. They would go and get drunk and do stupid things, but the next day, we felt better.
I think I'd like to go for a walk with you then.
We'll finish here first.
Yes, definitely.
I think that's the scene,
I
yeah?
think that's the end of the scene, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think kind of like Jim, it's not exactly visible because it's not necessarily visible to everyone in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out like what the switch would be though.
So the options basically have is you can make something up, or you could just copy someone else's visible quality. So like, it just depends sort of how you want to play it. So they're if you want to make one up, you just figure out what you want to call it, and we would identify you with that instead. If you want to take one from someone else, probably the only one that I can see that to my mind would fit would be like wants to be more social, a little bit. But that's kind of its own thing, and I don't know that it was. That would suggest a certain degree of like you're sort of funneling it into that instead. So I kind of would lean toward you're making up one, but that's sort of what I'm thinking.
I might need a minute to think on it.
Sure.
But I'll let you know what that is. I think. Yeah, I'll let you know what that is as soon as I think of it.
Okay, no problem. We've got another scene before we have our mission reports. So we will go over to Horace, and we're going to be testing the quality of lacking confidence.
Okay. Thinking yeah, it's kind of a little bit of it's both easy and tough. I think Jim, if you don't mind, what I'm thinking is it might be a case of Horace is comparing navigational data, information that's being that the sensors are showing, that the navigational computer is showing, compared to what was in the system, and he seems a little uncertain as to the results. And so, since you're the engineer, is checking with you on the accuracy of everything.
Yeah. Okay. To like an extreme degree. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I think what it is calling and checking and saying, hey, Mark, this so this what are we calling it? A plasma cannon or a
drill? Plasma drill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A navigational drill.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Something seems a bit. All right. So just to make sure that I've got this running correct. We went through the process. We made sure that this was aligned properly, center line, in front.
Yeah.
Okay. And
yeah, that was like first thing.
Okay.
We can. I mean, did something throw it off? Does it look like it's listing in one direction or another, or anything like that?
I don't know. I keep going over the charts that we have, and I'm just, I'm going through them. I don't know. I've run the numbers 2-3 times, and I mean, I think I'm using. I think my math is right. I don't know. Can you check this? Can you run a diagnostic? Check this to make sure that I'm.
I mean, sure. I mean, you're. Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact that your math skills are like pretty much. You know more about navigational math than I do, but I'll be happy to take a look. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know more about navigation than you do. That's why I'm the navigator, not the engineer. But
right.
But I mean, math is math. So.
Yeah, sure.
I don't
take
know.
A look, no problem.
Everything looks correct, but there just seems. I just get the feeling that there's something wrong. Something's off.
All right. I mean, I'll be happy to take a look at it. Everything okay?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been sleeping much, but
You kind of need to do that so that you can be awake during the times you're supposed to be awake, right? Yeah. That's a thing.
I mean,
people sleep.
Hey, if I fall asleep at the controls, it's not exactly like we're gonna bump into another car. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. I mean, goodness knows who we might frighten out here with our big drill. And I'm just sort of just typing things in and.
Yeah, I mean, look, all I want you to do, just go through, check to make sure, just make sure I haven't left something out. That's all.
Okay, no, absolutely. You got it. Go ahead and send me the. If you want to go ahead and send me your send me your formulae, your whatever the word is that I'm looking for. Go ahead and send me the data, and I'll just check over it if you want. But I think I'm telling you right now. I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be absolutely fine. But you can go ahead and send it, and I'll take a look.
Yeah, here, just and he'll go ahead and he'll send it to your station. Just just want to double check.
All right, here. Okay, got it here. All right, I will look. I'll definitely go over this. But I mean, things are looking as far as our routes and everything. And just took a look. As far as I can see, we're good. I think you've got this, man. You do.
All right. Yeah. All right, fine. Yeah, that's cool. That's yeah. All right. I don't know.
All right. I'll get back to you with the with this as soon as I'm as soon as I'm done locking a couple things down here.
Okay. And I think he'll just go back and just wait for Mark to get back with him. So I think that's gonna be kind of like the end of the scene.
Okay.
So
do you feel as though your quality was revealed?
Yeah, I mean, I think Mark probably has an idea that not entirely confident about running things.
Yeah. It's also occurring to me though that if it's something where you're sort of, what was it? You're also joking about running into other cars and stuff like that. So I mean, if you wanted to pull make one up out of that, you could do that instead if you wanted to. If he wants to cover it up more, but if he's okay, but if you're okay with it being exposed for him, then we can go ahead and move it over.
No, I think I'm good with it being exposed.
All right, so that is now visible. It's now visible that Horace lacks confidence. Okay, we are now back to our mission reports for this one. Let's see. I'll go ahead and do mine real quick. Let me see if I can conjure this up appropriately. Hey, engineer's log. Does anybody actually listen to these things? It'd be nice to know. So what's happening? Well, we're through the debris field. Managed to actually put something together to kind of get through. I modified one of the, sent the plans for the modified plasma emitter, extra plasma emitter into a drill. And so we've got that pretty much, taken care of. We're able to blast away the debris that we were heading through. So we're gonna make it on time, I think. I am a little worried. I'll admit I'm a little bit worried about some of the other crew. They're kind of. I mean, I think they were going to be fine, but it's like, for example, and I need to look at my own thing here just so that I make sure I'm answering the appropriate questions as I'm doing this. What do you like best about this fellow crew member? What are you looking forward to doing on this mission with this crewmate? All right, that's the first one. What do you like about working with this crewmate? If there's one thing you could change, there we go. Okay. Yeah. So, for example, Horace is. Every time that I get numbers from Horace, they are perfect. Absolutely. And I think that, the guy is a navigational genius. and he's actually managed to bring the crew a little closer together as well. So I mean, it's great. It's great, kind of that aspect of working with him. It's just he's kind of second guessing himself all the time lately, and I'm I don't know if it's the isolation that's getting to him or what, but I mean, we're doing what we can to kind of counteract that, I hope. But he's a lot better navigator, I think, than even he thinks he is. So I don't know, just somebody. I mean, he's on this mission. That should be enough, right, for him to know that this is where he belongs. But I just feel like he needs some kind of affirmation or something. He needs a hug or something. I don't know. Like a 24-hour hug for like a few days or something. Unfortunately, I am rather busy wrapping my arms around these plasma coils, so not going to happen anytime soon. That said, I mean, I hope he's okay. And so for Zayla, Zayla's been kind of stressed out lately too. And I kind of feel a little bad because, like, if we hadn't done the shortcut, then she, it's like she's scrambling to try to get stuff done. I mean, we're still going to have enough time. I mean, just based on the calculations I've seen, we're going to have enough time before hitting the planet. But I guess she had a timetable she didn't tell us about for stuff when we got to the planet. So I'm kind of worried about that. So I mean, I'm doing whatever I can to help on that. But she kind of, I think she's a little too hard on the throttle right now. Might need to ease back just a touch because I just I mean, if she's going to be like our only hope to continue living once we get down there, so it would be nice if she doesn't snap or anything. I hope she's okay. I'm gonna try to, I don't know, I'm gonna try to figure something out. I'm just gonna go up and try to offer to help with stuff and see if that helps or something, because I think, I don't know, maybe I don't know. Honestly, I will say that we probably should have consulted her when we made this decision in the first place, just so that we could have allayed any of those fears. Hell, maybe I wouldn't have had to build that thing. Yeah. That's what's bothering you, isn't it, Mark? Yes, it is. Okay, well, enough about that. As for Dekra. Dekra is actually opening up some, and it's actually really cool. It's getting easier working with them. So I don't know, we've got this weird sort of, it's like, kind of, we're heading up toward it for a 180 on what the situation was at the beginning, and I gotta figure out, ways to make sure that everyone keeps getting along here, because otherwise can't, I'm just saying. Well, at least we'll, I guess we'll be able to, at least we're going to get there. We got that going for us. Who the hell? Who the hell would ever think I'd be happy about that? All right. This has been rambling for way too long, but nobody's complained about anything because you're all too far away to do so. Haha. Send you my next one. I promise it'll be twice as long. Engineer out. Mark
You
is
know
a
no
mess.
one's listening. It's like when you send an email
Yeah.
and no one replies and you're like, did anyone even read it?
No. I'm just starting to realize my character is like a terrible mess. But anyway. But yes, so logs.
I mean, aren't we all?
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so D. Craig gets the next one. Mission report.
All right. I think it's really just indicative of us after a certain point too, because
Yeah,
there is
that's fair.
nothing in your game that says we have to be like a certain type.
Yeah, we did this to
But-
ourselves.
We did this to ourselves. I love it. All right. Dikra is, in their room where they prefer to do all of their personal logs, and has the mini dwarf cotton tree from Horace, where the lavender used to be, and now Horace has my lavender. And I'm just, I'm looking at it as I'm speaking into my recorder to transmit. Observational log 22. We are nearing the planet to continue our surveying to determine if it is habitable, or ideally habitable. I have yet to observe any kind of hostile or military presence in this sector. We will know more when we are planetside. There is still a chance that there is sentient life on this planet, or it has been colonized by another sentient entity, and as such will be dealt with as per the protocols outlined in my directives. I must admit, I find myself hesitant to do as such. Mark has proven a capable and intelligent engineer, one who has taken an item of historical significance and turned it to something beneficial to our current mission, and has shown that perhaps there is a way forward past all of this. Horace, well, they are all smart, but Horace is particularly adept. The calculations that he does to get us through, well, we could have avoided a particular navigational difficulty, but Horace had no issue. And between Horace and Mark, they make a phenomenal team and have created a way for us to get planetside faster, that we might conclude this mission a few cycles earlier, which would be, as per the directive, ideal. Zayla is an extremely talented botanist and has proven more than capable on this mission despite her youth and joking nature. They are kind and attentive and very good at making sure we stay alive in, well, the way that matters most. What good is a ship if we have nothing to eat on it? I suppose they all could do with a bit more self-confidence these days. I find myself growing worried that we might fail, perhaps if they self-sabotage, that they think that we are not capable of success, and perhaps we will fail because of that. I do not know. I would not allow that to happen, but I do think that perhaps we should re-examine the directive around how we handle the possibility of a habitable yet already inhabited planet. I do not think that. I think that Mark has shown me a better way. End observation log.
I'm very concerned. Oh dear. Okay, so we have a couple more logs to do, a couple more mission reports to do. I can't wait to hear Zayla's mission report.
Okay. Hey, Professor. Let's see. Not much to report. I've appended some data on the experiments that we might not be able to complete. There's been a slight change to our course, which has resulted in earlier landing on the planet. So, yay, we're going to land earlier, but also, there's that means there's a little less time to prepare some of these things. So I've appended a list of what I think are the less essential projects or experiments. I'd appreciate it if you could take a moment and review those and just make sure that our priorities are in line. Obviously, I'm thinking about what this mission needs, and you might have an insight into what other missions need that I just don't know about. Yeah, okay, so how is everything going? Oh, I gave everyone plants. And that was I think they like it. So how is working with everyone? Working with Mark is okay. He likes to fiddle with things. I think last time I called it optimizing. But some of those things lately have been less optimizing and more minor disruptions. So I've had to, remind him a couple of times that, there are other people on board who just kind of need to know about these things. But he's really good at what he does. He and Horace and I think Deepa too, they all designed this amazing space drill thing. I really hope someone's sending you schematics of it. It's really cool. And that is part of why we're able to get there so much faster than we thought. Let's see, who else? Horace. So Horace is... Okay, I said last time I didn't know if he knows what he's doing. And I think it's a little bit different than that. I think he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't know that he knows what he's doing, if that makes sense. And so, from my point of view, there's a lot of, just trying to remind him of, what my needs are, because, I don't want him to get so far up his own butt that he's, checking over in case he made a mistake that he obviously didn't make, that he, doesn't think about what another possibility might be, because obviously, he's super smart and stuff. And it's just a matter of making sure he's thinking about that. So it's really weird because he's twice my age, but I feel like I'm managing him. This is bizarre. And I don't know anything about navigation. Oh my gosh, I'm not even sure what he does most of the day. So this is just a really weird position to be in. Yeah, okay, so who else? Deepa, of course. They're great. I love them. I like them. They're cool. They're a great person to have along on the mission. Not I love them, just I like them. And Yeah, they have been really helpful in the labs and are so good at like just kind of seeing where work needs to be done and like checking in and then doing it. And like I'm pretty sure they're doing that like all over the ship, which is amazing. We're continuing to work on some of the medicinal applications of some of the herbs that we have in storage. That's kind of moved up in priority. They seem weirdly preoccupied with that, actually. Like, way too preoccupied with that. But I don't know. Yeah, anyway, still waiting the final climatological data and for Horace to decide where exactly our landing zone is going to be. We're still a little too far out to make that determination, apparently. And I will forward reports on what we expect in terms of biota, temperature range, if we can get any sort of environmental analysis of the atmosphere, please let us get that. Yeah, and I'll send that along next time. Okay, bye, Professor.
Very cool. Nice. All right, it's over to Horace.
Personal observation log. Things are progressing. We encountered a debris field that we had not seen earlier, had not determined was there. It was a little bit of a concern. It seemed as if we were probably going to have to go around it. It was going to add weeks to the journey. Really was kind of concerned about that. But Mark claims that he found some diagrams in some of the old archive data that he keeps around, and cobbled together a kind of cannon drill, I think is what we're calling it. It's like a large gun, and it's going to be able to punch a hole through the cloud. I gave him a little bit of navigation related information for it, but he really seemed to spend a bit of time working with Dekra. I guess something in there, they seem to know something about it, so I don't know. So speaking of Dekra, seems that we've discovered she has a thing for, or they have a thing for soft and fuzzy. I traded the plant that had been given to me by Zayla. I think they'll take better care of it. I was not really paying that much attention to the plant, to be honest. I'm hardly ever in here anyhow. So, seemed like a good thing. Zayla, I've noticed, seems a bit kind of high-strung lately. Evidently, the change in our schedule seems to have... I don't know. I'm not sure if they're upset with it or if they're happy with it. They seem kind of... I don't know. High-strung, I guess. So, we'll just have to see how things are once we get to the other side of this debris field. Well, I guess that's it for now. More when we get to the other side.
Awesome. Oh, this is interesting. I've also had a terrible idea, but we'll see if that comes to fruition in the last act or not. But let us. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, so we can leap up and do various things, and we will be back shortly to conclude this. See you soon. we have returned to the third round of hidden qualities, and now our most hidden qualities will either be revealed or other things will happen. And so we're starting once again with me, and my most hidden quality is that Mark is a former member of an anti-planetary faction. Basically, they were a group that was wanting to stay on the generation ship. Ad infinitum. And so I have thought of a way that this might come to fruition here. And oh God. I think that the scene is that we're getting back scans from we're getting back scans from the area of the planet. Hang on a second. Let me see. Which we have not named yet. We've just been calling it the planet. But no. We can't live on that planet. That's already been proven. But yeah, I'm not sure what it's called. Planet string of letters and numbers, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to reload something real quick because the audio is not coming through for it, and I want it to work. Roll20 had an update and things went weird. Let's try this. I am getting nothing. Let me check something. Okay. That's so weird. It could just be this particular thing. All right. Well, back to the intro music it is then. That's working. All right. I think it's just this track in particular that I had selected for the thing wasn't working. Okay. So, I think we get our scans back from the initial, after we get through the cloud of the planet, and there seems to be another ship there. And it is, but it seems to be another. It seems it's another small ship that seems to be of a very similar design to those that were launched from the generation ship. So it looks like one of ours is there for some reason already. It's sort of in orbit. We get kind of a transmission from them. We don't have direct person-to-person contact with them yet, because we're still a ways off. And it's just basically we get a message that this planet is not to be inhabited. This is the any attempts to approach the planet will be met with force. And that's like most of what they say. Is that it's a yeah. And I should have given the anti-planetary faction a name. I don't think they I don't think they specify, because I think it's going to be kind of notable that this is like a splinter group that's doing this. So there's a question as to whether they have the firepower or not. Well, actually, if they have some degree of firepower, but it's sort of an odd thing that has happened. I think we're going to call I'm looking through the thesaurus for things that would help. Yeah, well, I guess they like tend to be called obstructionists, basically. But the off-planet alliance, possibly. That works. But we get this transmission, and then so we all have to have this meeting to figure out what we're going to do. Since it would take considerable time for us to get any orders back, we could stop and send off for orders, but then there's a question of like, how much time do we have if we wait, that sort of deal. So I think this is kind of that conversation that we're probably having in the sort of some common area of the ship, and I don't think we've stopped our course yet. The physical distancing, the social distancing alliance. No. Yeah. So I think this is that. We're probably back in like either the. I don't know if the ship has like a ready room type deal. We've mostly been meeting in the galley. But I feel like this is something that needs to happen closer to the bridge. Just for the sake of it being here. We're probably having this in like just the this meeting just sort of back a bit from the bridge. Just so we can figure out what's going on. In sort of the, the area. The atrium, if you will. It's a thing where it's like we're just sort of like casting about for ideas. What did they say anything about what they wanted? Is that it? Is that the whole message?
They just said that they didn't want us to land. They didn't exactly give a reason.
No, they didn't, did they?
Kind of a, all these planets are yours except this one. We found it first type thing.
How long is the transmission delay?
No, we're still a little ways off from there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, at this distance, there's maybe about an hour.
Well, let's just ask them why we can't land. I mean, if it's 2 hours to get a reply, we might as well ask, right? Like, did they send it directly to us, or are they just like broadcasting it everywhere in hopes that if there is another colony ship, it finds it and, fucks off? I mean, sorry, that it leaves before getting nearby.
It came directly to us, sort of. I mean, like it didn't have my name on it, or it wasn't addressed to the crew specifically, but
it was.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they? Do we have any way of knowing if they, just out of curiosity, if they were trying to transmit that along our? If we have any signs that they were earlier trying to transmit that along our original flight path?
No. It kind of seemed like, I mean, it was directly at us. So
yeah. There's
it's not like it was something that we kind of traipsed along and caught sideways.
Yeah. They figured it out. Great.
Mark, they're not going to, no matter how politely we ask, answer the question of why we cannot land. They've decided we cannot, and I am sure you know that they will defend that decision with prejudice.
Wait,
yeah, they're going to try to.
What?
I mean, okay. I mean, their crew is... Just from the scans that we've gotten on them, I think, just based on the size of the ship, I think their crew is probably not... They don't have much of a crew on there. It's mostly going to be AI. And there are ways of disabling the weapons that they have if they're using what I think they're using. So
Taking a guess based off of those archival photos of yours?
No. It's an off-planet alliance ship, right? Yeah. So they're
How do you know that? Did they say that?
No, it's in the signature. No, it's their signature. How they... This is always how they do this.
What do we know about them? What are they using in terms of weapons?
They've probably got... they've probably got a plasma cannon. It's one or two of those. They're not going to be able to fit more than two on their on a vessel that size. They have the thing is, it's probably, given the amount of time that it would have taken them to get out here, it's not going to be. Yeah. They're going to have trouble. They're going to have trouble necessarily with targeting us until we get pretty close, though. So we have a few options if we end up wanting to engage them. But I guess it's either that or we turn around.
Hmm.
Well,
Can
I
we
mean,
turn around though? Like we kind of knew this was a one. Like, how do we know they're not going to help? Maybe things have changed. Maybe they've had some kind of breakdown in their ship now, and maybe they need some help, and maybe we could help them, and then maybe they would like help us, if not get to the planet, like find another one if they like this one so much. Like,
I guess I could make sure they have a breakdown in their ship.
but
There's
that wasn't what.
okay. Look,
the drill.
well, that plus I know some codes I might be able to use if they haven't changed them.
Knocking down one ship will not stop the Alliance. You know this.
But will it get us on the planet? Are there more ships around the planet? Do we have to worry about that? Are they going to like attack us from space and bomb us and stuff if we get down there?
They couldn't have known which one of these survey ships was going to. I mean, if they're trying to go after all of the survey ships, then they're going to be pretty thinly spread at this point. I can only think of one reason why they might try to focus on us, and it would be so incredibly petty if they did that. That would really not work at all. That would just be self-destructive of them.
Do tell.
All right, look. It was a long time ago, okay? So prior to my working as an engineer for our government, I worked somewhat as an engineer for the Alliance.
The Off-Planet Alliance.
Yeah.
Why?
I had a very different philosophy at the time. I thought we were going to save lives. I thought we were going to save lives by keeping the population from getting so disparate in its search that we were just going to whittle ourselves down to nothing. I thought I was preserving the length of our species. I was wrong. Because, I mean, when things came to blows, we all saw what happened there, and I just didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to have anything to do with them after that. I wasn't expecting them to. I wasn't expecting them to actively start behaving like terrorists. I wasn't expecting them to actually. I was expecting them to threaten. I wasn't expecting them to kill.
You were involved with that?
How did you land a job on this ship?
Yeah.
Oh,
If
well.
you used to be with the Alliance.
Well, like I said, it was a long time ago, and when I decided I didn't want to work with them anymore, I gave rather a lot of information to the other side. Try to stop them. Because I saw what they were doing, and people were getting killed, and it was getting to the point it wasn't about what I thought it was about. So I helped our government come up with ways to stop them.
Not enough, apparently.
Yeah, not completely. It looks like there's still a few of them out there.
Well, who are you and the government to decide that their work is not in the best interest of humanity? Perhaps we should stay on the generation ships. Why should we go back planetside?
there's a limitation to how long the generation ship is going to be able to support us. Like, it's already outlasted its design capacity by almost 2 generations. Like, this isn't... We're seeing physiological changes in the human species that means that in a couple more generations we won't have the option, and then what? Like, maybe not everyone has to, but everyone should have... What? It doesn't... We have to figure out what we're going to do because we don't have enough food to get back.
That was another reason why I switched over and was actually pleased to be on this mission. I read your paper, and I agree with you.
You read my thesis?
Yes. I read everybody's work before I came on here. That's, what you do.
Well, I did. I didn't know if you guys did.
So you used to be you claim to be former Off-Planet Alliance.
Yeah.
You took the time to read our backgrounds.
Well, yeah. That's... I wanted to make sure that, the people I was going to be with were people who could be trusted, and it looked very much from your profiles like you could.
Wherever we are, Zaylee is going to move and just stand a little bit closer to Dekra and a little bit farther from Mark.
That we could be trusted or that we could be trusting?
Honestly, if I wanted to be on a crew with people who are all completely innately trusting, would I have signed up for a crew to be a crewmate with our medic? Say gesturing. I say gesturing to Dekra. No offense.
What's that supposed to mean? And Horace just kind of looks at Dekra questioningly.
Indeed, Mark. What are you implying?
I'm implying that I knew you were suspicious of rather a lot before we even started this whole thing. Okay. God, look. I'm just saying
cautious. That's different.
I don't know, you get used to looking at things a certain way after a while. I was hoping this was a mission I wouldn't have to look over my shoulder. On. Apparently, that's not the case anymore.
Well, perhaps the government does not have as much trust in you as you believe they do.
Wait, you knew? Before
I didn't know
board?
anything. No, I am no longer active military, but I am hired as a security consultant in addition to being a medic and simply keep an eye on things. I was told that perhaps there could be a member of this crew who did not have the generation ship's best interests in mind.
Okay.
I want this mission to succeed, okay? This is...
Yeah, but what does that even mean to you?
Getting the survey done in the hopes that planet is habitable.
Well... So you used to be a former terrorist. You used to be...
It was before they became terrorists. Before they
soldier.
did that turn, all right?
What's the next biggest surprise? Are you really a botanist?
Yes, I'm really a botanist. I'm a really good botanist. I've never been planet side, obviously, but I'm still a really good botanist. Are you real navigator?
I got us here, didn't I?
Enough. We will not survive the next day if we cannot trust each other. Mark, our past is our past, right?
And that was
We cannot change it.
I was trying to leave it dead and buried.
Well, sometimes it is hard to escape it. You know
Believe
what
me,
their
if I were
next...
here to believe me, if I were here to sabotage things, I wouldn't be telling you any of this right now.
This is true. If we were all meant to be dead, we probably would be. He knows how to stop the air from blowing.
Agreed. Look, we need to determine our next move. Mark, what are they likely to do now that we must land, yes? So, we get rid of this one ship, we get planetside, and then, well, we hope that no more come.
Well, if the survey goes well, then there's going to be too many eyes on this planet. They wouldn't try anything after that.
Yeah, but there's going to be a gap. We might need to adjust our landing area criteria. You probably know better than me, but we'll need to be thinking certainly of defense from orbital bombardments. Just in case.
Let me look at that message again. And I look at the message.
Maybe we could live in caves like the first human ancestors.
Okay. Yeah, the way this is getting parsed, I might be able to send something over that's going to mess with their AI to the point that they're not really going to be able to stay. Maybe.
Will it?
What's the likelihood that they've already reported on this?
Well, again, like I said, the ships that are out, the ship that's out there, that's going to be up to their processing. They haven't. This band is sent to us. They're waiting to see what we do. They always give it a 72-hour window. So, there are a few things we can do, both that I could send over or that we can use on our own signal if we need to, shall we say, adjust things.
Do you mean kill them?
No, I'm mostly gonna, well, hopefully not. I mean, you want to kill them there, I could probably figure something like that out, but I don't want to. I'd rather kind of just hack into their AI and take control of their ship. I think that would be preferable.
If we could shut down their navigation, shut down their external comms, leave them alive but dead in the water, it could buy us some time. They would not be able to report back, which means that we could finish the survey, and if the planet is habitable, then we will get the necessary support that we need to protect it.
Seems like that seems like that might be our best chance.
Horace, can you get us planet side without them seeing us?
Yeah, I'm sure I could probably figure something out. Might be a little tricky, but I think so.
You've got this.
You're a really good navigator.
And I think that's probably where the scene is going to start drifting into being about other things. So I think that's probably where we would want to, roughly where we'd want to call it, if we're good with that.
All right.
All right. So that quality has been revealed. Ah!
Well, this escalated quickly.
I was just trying to think, how would this come out? Only if it was important. So we're over to you. We get to test your quality of being a clone. How would you like to set that up?
So I think I'm going to borrow a small part of the idea that Zayla had earlier and maybe do 2 mini scenes, if that's okay. I think I'll do the first one with Mark and then the second one with Zayla. That's all right. So for Mark's scene, Dikra is going to come find you in engineering while you're working, and is going to enter your space, but kind of hang back a little and wait until there's an opening for them to interrupt or approach you.
I actually have an idea, but I don't know how to. As far as the approaching the clone thing goes, with respect to this kind of scene, but
if you want, you can chat it at me. If you want to keep it a secret,
I will chat it at you, because I just want to ask if. Okay, yeah, I just want to ask if that's okay.
My answer to most of these questions is always yes.
That was exactly what it was. Yes, basically. Okay. All right. All right.
Okay, yeah, so it doesn't have to be in engineering, though. So if it makes sense for you to be working with your photos...
Oh, it can be in engineering, too. It can be, I can pull it up wherever, but if I need to. But
actually, you know what? No, let's make it then set in your quarters. I'll come and I'll knock on your door.
All right. It's working.
Which is unusual because Dikra never bothers people in their personal private space.
Okay, so I so I hear that and then I put something down. I'm like, come.
And Dikra walks in. Mark, I apologize for disturbing you in your downtime, but I have a favor to ask, and it is somewhat time sensitive.
Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, it's fine. I wasn't really having downtime per se anyway. There's a lot going on, but yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned that you were familiar with the AI and the tech.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, what the Alliance uses is similar to what the military used. Could you disrupt their technology as well? Specifically geolocation. Could you disrupt a geolocator embedded in an organic creature?
Oh. I could. Is that...
How long would that take?
About half an hour. If it's really... Well, depending on the model. I'm guessing If it's the model that I'm thinking it is, though, then maybe might be able to get that down to 10, 15 minutes.
It is likely the model you are thinking. I don't know which one it is. It is about 2 inches below the epidermis.
Yeah. So, this is a thing I've actually I'd heard rumors about. I didn't really know if it was true. And I
yes
mean,
and no.
Yeah. I mean, I assume, and he will reach down and he will pick up his tablet. He's going to just punch a couple of buttons and be like, I assume this is not you exactly, right?
No. It is the model that I am fashioned from.
Yeah.
And though I am decommissioned, I am still observed.
It was funny when I came across this. I had to do a double take. Yeah. I can do that. Is there a particular reason why you want me to disable that, though? Is there something else going on?
I think that given our current situation, it might be best if I did not have any tech on me that could be compromised, either by our own government or the Alliance. And you
That's
seem
smart.
to have walked away, and you seem content. And I must admit, I find myself wondering if I could perhaps one day do the same. And I would like the choice.
You got it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I must take care of one more matter, and then I will come back later and I will show you where it is, and perhaps it will be a small matter for you to correct.
All right, just give me a heads up, and I'll meet you in when you're ready. I'll meet you with the necessary stuff in sickbay.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your discretion.
Well, I mean, I look at it this way. If you're willing to give me a second chance, I'd be an idiot not to do the same.
Let us hope these next 72 hours prove that we are worthy of those second chances.
I hear you. Yeah.
And then Dika is going to leave and go find Zayla. Would Zayla be in quarters or in their botany lab, given the current situation?
Normally botany lab, but I think she's feeling pretty rough, so she's probably gone to quarters.
Okay. So Dika is going to actually check the botany lab first and notice that you're not there, which is odd. But then realizing you might be in quarters, go and hesitate for a moment and then very gently just tap on your door.
Come in.
Zayla, I apologize for disturbing you in your private space. I have a favor to ask, and it is a bit time sensitive.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. What's up?
There is, and Dika's going to, reach in their pocket and pull out a little bottle of pills and take one out and hand it to you. This is an organic compound. Can you manufacture this?
I I'd have to run a spectrographic analysis to find out. Like, organic compounds covers anything with carbon in it, so. But
I've been told it is predominantly plant-based.
I'll have a look. If we have the stuff on board, I'll do my best. Yeah, I'll get to work on it right away.
Thank you. I would appreciate that greatly.
What is it?
Medicine, I suppose, would be the easiest explanation.
Are you okay?
I am much better now. I cannot produce certain, I suppose you might call them amino acids. There are certain organic. Yes, a bit like that. There are certain elements that my body cannot produce, and so I take these, but I may not have access to them much longer, and it would be in my best interest to find a way to replicate them before that happens.
Okay, yeah, I'll and you can kind of see wheels turning in Zayla's head. But she just said, "Yeah, I'll get on that right away."
Thank you, Zayla, and do not worry about what happens next. We will be okay.
You promise?
I promise.
Okay. And she's gonna stand up and head off to the botany lab.
And Dika's going to go back, and I think that's a good way to end the scene.
So do you feel as though it has been revealed, or do you want to replace it with something?
I'm going to have to replace it with something, but it's interesting because it is 100% revealed to Mark and misinterpreted, like not in a way, like not in a bad way, just like in a way where it's like I have no reason to explain anything deeper to Zayla.
I think Zayla has probably figured it out.
You do? Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, if Zayla's going to analyze the compound, yes.
Mhm.
Oh. Yep, it's been exposed 100%.
Mhm.
Unless we want to keep Horace in the dark, in which case, you know.
No, I'm pretty sure, like, at our next group dinner / debriefing, what have you.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those things where Horace is like, oh.
Another awkward dinner conversation. Oh, great.
That explains why they like soft things.
Yeah.
Because they're a clone, you know?
Nice. Okay, well, we're on to Zayla's scene.
Mhm.
We're testing agoraphobic or agoraphobic, depending on which side of the room you're standing. Anyway.
Mhm. I think she's going to visit Horace in the cockpit, actually. And, yeah, she's gonna go up and, are the window screens open or closed? Such a clumsy way of asking, but...
I usually the window screens are going to be open because Horace likes to look out at the stars and marvel.
I think she's going to come in and stand again, kind of back against the wall, far away from it. Hand kind of nervously working on the wall a little bit. And she's just gonna say, Horace,
Yes?
you're really good at math, right?
I do okay.
You do better. Okay. Uh,
Yes, I'm good at math.
what do you think our probabilities of actually landing on the planet are?
I mean, 100%, provided that we avoid anything with the other ship. One way or another, we'll reach the planet side.
What if we can't avoid something with the other ship? What if it's inevitable that there's going to be some kind of conflict? What if the AI thing doesn't work? What if...
I'm going to say 50-50. Either they prevent us from landing or they help us land.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other planets we could go to that maybe don't have off-planet alliance ships around them? Like, I can't stretch the food supply very long, but I can maybe get us like another 6 to 8 weeks, and we would still have a buffer for when we landed on planet. we cut all of that time off earlier. Like, we could we? Like,
I mean, and I think at this point, Horace is just going to kind of like widely gesture towards the windows and go, there's plenty of space, plenty of stars. I'm sure we could probably find another planet somewhere.
within 6 weeks of travel?
No. I mean, there's a lot of them out there, but there's also a lot of space out there. There's a lot of distance. We would need to stop for food, maybe some gas. You know, maybe get a postcard or two to send back to the ship.
And Zayla
Something that says, really, really wish you were here.
Zayla is going to laugh at that joke and then just start like almost cough choking as she's backed up against the wall, just like she can't even breathe.
Are you all right? You want a seat? Okay. Well, and I mean, he's going to point to a chair, but it is kind of directly under a window.
She's just gonna slide down the wall instead. That's a way better solution right now.
All right. I think at this point, Horace is going to kind of do a little math and put 2 and 2 together and just reach over and hit the switch that closes the shutters.
And it doesn't help as much as you might think. So, and she's sitting there just, struggling a lot, frankly.
Okay. All right. So Horace is going to. We've already established that there is sort of like an intercom session. So, Horace is going to go ahead and reach over and hit the button. Dekra,
Yes, horse. I am a bit busy now. What is what do you need?
Could you come to the bridge for just a moment? There's something that needs. I need you to check something for me.
What could you possibly need me to check that is on the bridge? That is your domain. You do realize we're running on a very short window of time here.
And I think at this point, since I think the intercoms are going to have like a screen next to them, Horace is just going to reach over to the keyboard and type in Zayla.
I'm on my way. It takes a few minutes, but Dekra does get there fairly quickly. Horace, what is the matter? Where's Zayla?
Zayla seems to be having trouble breathing.
I'm gonna look around, and Zayla, I'm guessing, is still sitting like really close to the door, so I totally just walked past you. Then I'll just kind of do like a 360 circuit and Zayla, are you... What's wrong?
I can't get out, please.
Out of the room?
The whole... If we can't make it to the planet.
Zayla, I need you to do something for me, okay?
Yep.
It's okay. I want you to look around this room and name 5 things that you see.
Dekra and Horace and a chair and another chair and a big red button.
Good. Now take a deep breath and then tell me 4 things that you can hear.
Dekra's voice, the engines, my breathing, and that's all I can hear.
Okay. Now how about 3 things that make you happy?
My plants, that you all have plants, squishy things.
Good. And just take a deep breath. We're okay. And
if we can't get to the planet,
we will. I just need you to do one more thing for me, okay? Say 2 things that make you feel safe. Hey, Zayla, just look at me. It's okay. It's going to be okay.
we're not safe.
Zayla, I promise you, we are safe. Right, Horace? We're on course and we're on track?
Yeah, I mean, we are exactly where we need to be, and according to my calculations, we should be able to get planet side without the other ship seeing us. I mean, if everything goes according to the math, which so
And your
far
math
it
is
has,
never wrong. Your math is never wrong.
His
Right.
math is never wrong.
His math is never wrong. So Horace's math makes us safe. How do you feel, Zayla?
I really wish I were back on the generation ship.
It is a wonderful ship, but imagine all of the new plants and all of the new experiments you'll get to run when we are planetside.
I need to make your pill.
There is no rush. I still have a supply.
I think I need to sleep something in.
Would you like to go back to your lab? We'll leave Horace to navigate us through this mess we find ourselves in, and let's walk, and we will go by the lab and make sure everything is in order and rest before we finish this journey.
Thank you, Horace, for being really good at math.
yeah. It's a thing.
I think that's probably about the end of that. Like...
That was so good.
I do want to take a moment. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
I do want to just check in right now, real quick. Is everyone okay?
Yeah.
I'm all right.
I'm good.
Cool.
Okay.
I was going to say what folks on watching didn't see was we have our little chat going, and we used the O card to make sure everyone was feeling safe and still engaged during that last scene.
Yeah.
So even if you don't see us doing it on camera, we are still constantly checking in with each other.
Awesome.
So I'm going to say that most hidden feature is now very visible.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. All right. Okay, so it's over to Horace to set a scene that will either reveal or conceal his most hidden quality of nightmares.
Yeah. So, all right, Jim, you said you would go ahead and
Yeah, sure.
do a take on this one. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, because what I'm thinking is that this is probably going to be a hang on. I'm thinking a scene, probably Horace is going to be in the cockpit. Yeah, because that's where, he normally spends all of his time up there. And I'm thinking maybe it's a scene where, like, you've come up to check on something, and you catch him just kind of blank staring.
Yeah. I'm wondering if maybe should we say that I've previously I tried using the comm and you didn't respond, and so I came up?
That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, like you
Okay.
had tried paging or something, and just there had been no response.
How close are we to the to the attempt at getting planet side?
I would say that we're like maybe a few hours away. It's kind of it's going to be one of the, because the way I'm picturing this is almost kind of a cat and mouse chase. Think the scene. You've seen Wrath of Khan, right?
Oh yes, yeah, the thing in the nebula.
Right. Well, not the nebula, but
Okay.
like right there, right before they do it, where they have that whole scene where they're showing them circling the two ships circling the planet.
Yeah.
I'm figuring that what's happened is Horus has planned a trajectory, a descent planet side that does kind of that same thing where we come in at one point, and as we are pacing, we're also descending.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
So that we're able to hit planet side while they're still on the opposite side of the planet. So I'm gonna, it's probably like still maybe, like we haven't hit atmosphere yet type thing, but we're getting close.
Okay, so you said it's going to be like 4 or 5 hours before we have to start doing things, before we have to start pushing more buttons, basically.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So I come up, just sort of looking at, and Horus is staring out into space, or what?
So to speak, yes.
Yeah.
I think at this point he probably still has, because if this isn't too far after the scene with Zayla, I'm gonna say that he probably still has the shutters closed.
Okay. Yeah.
At this point.
So Mark will come in and like, hey man, you okay? He'll say from behind.
Yeah, I'm good. Just little short on sleep. Nothing, usual. Nothing new.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to confirm before we get into our maneuvering. We've got a few hours. If you want to catch some shut-eye, it probably would be a good idea.
Nah, it's all right. I want to go ahead and keep an eye on things, make sure that the situation doesn't change,
Okay, I mean, yeah, I've got the scramble code ready, but okay. He just comes in and he sits in the other chair. He just sort of looks over and he's like, and so this is what we're about to do is kind of going to be kind of critical, and I want to make sure that we make it through this. So I just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, man. It's all good.
And
Don't
it's been
worry
really
about
stress.
it.
I know we've all been under a lot of stress recently, and I know that a good portion of that is my fault. But it's kind of why I kind of feel a little responsible here to make sure that this goes okay. How long has it been since you've slept?
I don't know. It couldn't have been all that long ago. I catch a nap here and there, and I'm good.
Is there something that's keeping you up?
And I think at this point he's going to reach over and whatever the future's equivalent of Red Bull is, or Monster, as my preference goes, and then
Space
just
Monster.
Yeah, Space Monster. Right, there we go. Yeah, something is keeping me up. I'm doing a pretty good job of it too. So.
Wow. Huh. Can I tell you a little story?
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah. So, this was back when I was basically I was taking the exams to get into some of the an early program. This would be like I don't want to say 15 years ago, something like that. And I kind of got into the string. I was drinking a lot of that, and I was taking stims for quite a while, and I just before the a few nights before the exam was coming up, I had started having these I got sort of seriously messed up, like the times that I ended up going to sleep because I was having issues with my boyfriend. We were kind of not getting along for a bit, and he kind of was I was getting a lot of pushback for things, and I was giving him a lot of pushback for other things, and we didn't really we kind of they kind of was stuff that we weren't dealing with that was coming up, that was making us both really just incredibly worried about our futures, and that ended up manifesting in us not really wanting to ever go to sleep, because it would kind of just be a thing that would have these I kind of want to say these they'd have nightmares and stuff like that about it, and it just things got kind of really bad. So I decided that the way around that was to just not sleep. So I ended up nodding off in the middle of the exam. It did not go well. I ended up having to my boyfriend and I got into a big fight after that, and we ended up breaking up, and I had to wait and take the exam again the next year. Then he went and he joined the alliance, and we had tried to reconcile, and that's another story we don't need to get into right now. But I'm just saying that I think that if it doesn't really, it's not going to cost us anything, because we got excellent alarms. Because I have installed freaking excellent alarms for us. If you wanted to just, catch a little bit of shut-eye, even a nap, for a couple of hours, I think it would do wonders for us when we've got to now maneuver to stay away from those guys out there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. But look, man, nightmares suck. They really do. But you can't stop them. Okay. And I think I would rather just want to be awake for this one. I don't. I can take a nap once we get planetside. I'll be fine.
Well, would you do something for me? I'm just saying,
Sure.
Would you talk to Dekra and see just about if maybe they can help give you something if need be?
I mean, I don't think they would carry anything on this ship for that. Maybe back on the generational ship. But on a probe? Sleeping pills?
Well, either that or just something to get you to safely get you through the next several hours until you sleep. To help keep you up.
I'll think about it.
Okay. All right, that's all I ask. Listen, so I'll be down. I've got the I've got everything programmed in. I'll just say the word you need me to jump in and help with anything, okay? But I think you got this.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah. Hey, look, man. Like I said, I got my drink. I got my stars. Who needs nightmares? I mean, sleep. Who needs sleep?
He gets up. So Mark just sort of he stands up slowly. Says, "I will tell you one thing, though. I also remember about nightmares, about the ones that I had. They did stop eventually. And no, you can't stop them from happening, but they always change. It's the way the human brain works. It's always going to be different. It's always making things new. That's why dreams always change whenever you're even in them. And I found that it's never going to be quite what you think it's going to be. And more often than not, it's never been quite as bad as I anticipated. But anyway, all right, let's get ready to play hide and seek, huh? And Mark will step out, and he will be keeping an eye on things and hoping that Horace contacts Dekra and might possibly be contacting Dekra separately at some point, just out of some concern to make sure Horace makes it through okay. And I think that's pretty much. I think that's. Well, I'm sorry. That's up to you. As to
No. I was about to say that I think that would be kind of the scene. Is, I think he slipped up just enough that at the very least, Mark knows.
Yeah.
That Horace is having a problem with nightmares.
Yeah. But now, do you want that to become visible, or do you want to replace it with something else?
I'm gonna say visible because I'm the kind of comment you threw in there at the end about as Mark is leaving, maybe contacting Dekra on his own, going hey.
Well, if you do contact Dekra, then Dekra would probably direct you to Zayla for a non-medicinal or maybe a more organic medicinal alternative, unless you did want the chemical option, in which case then we probably all know, at least that you are asking for things to help you relax.
That said also, though, that's something, and actually I shouldn't even said that much because that's outside the boundaries of this scene, so you can decide just sort of narratively here whether it's going to happen or not. Okay.
Cool. I say keep it.
All right. So, all three of those qualities are now visible. We now know you have
kind of like how we've
nightmares.
been writing little scene epilogues sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where we have hit the point where we're going to be ending the mission. So, at the end of the third round, the mission ends, and each character will have 4 visible qualities that make up their identity. You can decide collectively how the mission ends and what part each of you has in that ending. And then after that, we give our final mission reports. So first we have to decide what happens, or as much as we want to say about what happens at the end of the mission. So how do we think we succeed? Do we make it to the planet?
I wonder if there's like a choice between being able to do a complete survey of the planet and being able to get to the planet safely, given how we are playing tag with this other ship.
I would... kind of a little tough to say because depending on... So my thought is and this is just my thinking. If the other ship is doing a survey orbit, then if we are matching pace, then we would be going at a survey speed. I mean, we would be descending while we're doing it, but we would still be doing it at a speed that would be appropriate for being able to do a survey. If they're not, or if for some reason we're trying to get planetside faster, I would say that my opinion would be is that either we aren't able to collect information because we're just traveling too fast, or we're only able to get partial information and some of it may be incorrect. So, so we may get some data, but the accuracy of the data may be off by a margin of error. I mean, that's just that's my opinion. If anybody else has like something that sounds better, I'm all cool for that.
I do like the idea of us getting planetside. Like, if that was our first objective, we do get planetside. But maybe we don't resolve the bigger issue of what's going on with the Alliance. And you're right, like, we are going to be collecting data, but it's under duress. So there's no guarantee we don't have the time to do all of the usual cross-checking and, not that Zayla wouldn't do an amazing job of doing it, but we're cutting corners that we normally wouldn't cut.
Sort of meatball surveys. I think that probably as far as, and we can talk about if we want our individual characters' parts in that if we want. But yeah, I think Mark does everything he can to help, get the efficiency in so that re-engineer anything that needs to be re-engineered to make things. To make the the gathering of information more effective in the amount of time that we have. And probably it's just sort of, it becomes sort of like a natural extension of his fiddling with things to a certain extent. It's just sort of like, yes, no, because that's actually what all his fiddling with things was to begin with. It was, it's like, oh, this can be better. And so, in a way, I kind of feel as though for some of our for characters, it's like sometimes for folks that are constantly worried or constantly panicking, sometimes they're great in a crisis, because it's like, oh, now it is a crisis. Okay.
I've thought about this before.
Yeah.
Yes, all of that planning for worst case scenario is finally coming to fruition.
Yes. So I'd like to think that we probably get a sufficient. I'd like to think we get at least a decent. We probably don't get everything we want. We don't get everything we want. We probably get enough to be able for there to be some sort of judgment made. I don't know. What do you think?
This is, just thinking like how Zayla's been the one reporting back on, the organic side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're up for it, I think it would be super cool to find out in your final mission report if the planet is or is not good for the generation ship.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that would come out of your analysis, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
This is true. So yeah, we could just sort of find out. Find out that way. If we want to do that. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. Time to do some very quick Googling.
And then also, worst comes to worst, this is just the survey doesn't fully match the reality, and worst case scenario, maybe they pass over this planet initially for habitation, but then decide to use it as a prison colony after they finish catching all the rest of the Alliance, and then this becomes the location for a game of durance later on.
I was just about to ask. As soon as you said prison colony.
Yes, well, there it is,
You've created a dark universe.
Yes. So have we said everything we want to about the end of the mission, or is there anything else anyone wants to say about what they see their characters doing as part of this, or what do you want to? Or shall we move on to the final reports?
I think we move on to the final. I'm ready to move on to the final report.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to research mine, but I'm ready to move on.
So, you give your final mission report, give answers to the following questions about each of your fellow crew members. How was your crewmate's overall performance? What was your favorite thing about working with your fellow crew member? Would you work with them again? Why or why not? So, I'll go ahead and go. This is a report made possibly from the surface of the planet. We'll see how this goes. Well, we made it. Hoping to unload everything now, getting everything set up. I'm having to I'm doing this while working because we have to. We don't have quite as much time as we'd hoped because of that whole situation up there. Managed to fend them off for a bit. I think they're going to be confused for a while, but man, I never thought that's a thing that would be coming back to haunt me. Well, you folks getting these logs will know all about that. I want to talk to you folks when I get back. Find out if anyone happened to by any chance leak which ship I'm on. Because anyway, hopefully that's not why they're here. In any case, how did the rest of the crew do? All in all, You know, given everything, I think they're doing spectacularly. Horace got us down here without a, without a problem. I think that, Horace has some things that he needs to work out, but he's a good guy, and he just needs support. He needs people to support him, I think. And he's going to be okay. My favorite thing about working with him was just that it was, in a crisis, he came through. He actually was able to. He does excellent math, and he knows what he's talking about. He was absolutely able to. I think he'd probably be able to hit the narrowest of bullseyes. I never want to try to play darts against him. I'll just put it that way. I would work with him again. I think he did an excellent job. Zayla has been, I think, almost a little bit overworked on this. Zayla's been overworked. I'm not even going to say a little bit. Zayla's been overworked on this whole thing. We should have had more than one. I wish we'd had another scientist to help her out here, because she was doing the work of she's already doing the work of 14 people. Would have been nice if we could get that down to 7. But she's been keeping things together on her end pretty well, as far as things go. I think that. So overall, for a first outing, this was very good for her, I think. I loved her enthusiasm for things, for what she was into and what she believed in, and I really hope she hasn't lost that. And I'm kind of worried that because she was younger and more inexperienced, I'm kind of worried that we didn't listen to her enough, actually. And because, the science is the science. We got to remember that. And I'm kind of worried that what this mission has, might have done to her. I don't know. But I think in future, if I ever, obviously we've got to maybe get back or start setting things up here one way or the other, but if she gets to a point where she's good with things, then I would work with her again. But I don't know if, actually, to be perfectly honest, though, that would be in an ideal world. I'm worried that I might have contributed to a good portion of the trauma, just based on, our little secret getting out. So, I don't know if she would want to work with me again, and if she doesn't, I really honestly don't blame her. Because, she may have, everyone has a few issues. I've got plenty. But even so, just working with her, I'm going to try to make this easy, the rest of this whole trip, as easy for her as possible. I'm going to do anything I can to help out. But, whether that means actually actively helping set things up, or if it means giving her space. Whatever that needs. And as for Dekra, is pretty much does anything they set their mind to do. They've done a great job under terrible duress, and I think that my favorite thing about working with them is that they were reliable about the things that are important. Not just keeping... I kind of thought at first that they were just trying to keep to, a very singular thing, very, as one might, as like an almost a militaristic bent, but it's not that. It's they've got their priorities straight, and I liked that they're kind of, in a way, more one of the most human people I've ever met. If you'd asked me, at the beginning of this mission, I'd have said no, but at this point, yes, I'd work with them again if if they'd be willing. But, well, I gotta finish basically making this one machine into, 5 machines. So I gotta get back to work on, I gotta focus my attention on this, but just hope that this reaches you folks, and that if they ever if we ever get to the point that they decide to, if you ever get to the point, and if I'm not there, hopefully I'll be there, but if you get to the point that you end up pulling my daughter out of storage, do let her know that I'm sorry. And I'm trying to make up for everything. And that's why I'm still out here. All right. Well, enough of that. Time to bend some physics. And he log ends. Okay.
Whew. Taking a moment here. All right. Okay, so Deekra's final log. All right. Dekra is going to record this one. This is the first personal or observational log recorded by Dekra outside of their room. So they're going to find a nice cliffside, go do a little hiking and find a nice space, planet side, that is a little secluded, where they can sit and record their final thoughts. If anyone was around, and if anyone had noticed what Dekra was using previously to record and transmit, they would notice that Dika is now using a different device to record this observation log and perhaps is transmitting on a different frequency. Commander, I know it has been some time since we last spoke. I know we did not end on the best of terms. I owe you an apology. You were right. What has come of our actions, call it an alliance, call it the government, it is creating so much trauma and damage. It is hurting so many. I wish you could meet the crew, the ones that I work with now. They are smart and kind and forgiving. I am going to stay with them. I am not going back. I am not going back to the service that I was requisitioned to after my discharge. I am going to ask one of them. Her name is Zayla. I'm going to ask if perhaps I could stay with her and help with the plants here. It is fascinating to work on something that creates instead of destroys, and I think that if you could find it in yourself to forgive me and to understand that we are capable of change, I think that you should bring them here, bring everyone here. All of those who walked away, all of those who said that we could be better and do better. You were right. I am transmitting this on the encrypted frequency that we once used for private communication during missions. I hope that you are still listening. I hope it is still active, and I hope that you are well. The names of my crew are Mark, Horace, and Zayla, and they are some of the bravest and best that I have served with. End transmission.
Cool. Damn. Oh, that's so good. So we've had a little background discussion. We're thinking we're gonna actually go to Rrok next, if we're good with that. So we can kind of let Zayla's report wrap up the status of the planet.
Yeah, we're cool.
Okay.
I guess this is the final personal observation log. It's been something of a journey, something of a trip. We made it here. I will be including a copy of the charts, path we took, and some of the navigational hazards that we found along the way. Things that had not been on the initial surveys. I don't think we could have gotten here with any other crew. Not as well as we did. Mark is an exceptional engineer. Maybe it's because he's able to draw on the past. He keeps this archive that I've mentioned before, and he's drawn some ideas from it. And he likes to refer to his own past. I'm a little concerned about the fact that he used to be with the Alliance. But he helped get us planet-side and not them. So maybe it's worth it. Just kind of letting that slide. I don't know. I'd have to have another journey with him. I think we'd have to go on another planet seek. Just to be sure. Zayla, I think Zayla is kind of like the heart of this crew, really. I mean, always so positive. And the knowledge of plants definitely helps. Our food certainly would have been a lot less interesting. And Dekra is, hey, they kept us alive the entire trip. We didn't have anything too much to worry about. Although I seem to be a bit familiar with the military and the Alliance, so there's a little bit of a question mark there. But I'd give them another trip. Yeah. I think I'd sail with this crew again. End log.
Okay.
Zayla's turn. Pulling up the reference. Hey, Professor. We're here. We're here on this planet. We haven't given it a name officially. I know technically that's not our right. It belongs to the scientists who discovered it. Whatever. So we're supposed to do these things, these questions about our crewmates, and I don't know how I feel about it, Professor. So Mark and I have been talking, and we knew this was a one-way trip when we started, and I think that got lost along the way. So, I'll give my report on the crew and then my report on the planet, okay? Okay, so, Mark, the crewmate's overall performance. Mark is a really good engineer. There are concerns that I have with his trustworthiness, that I think I won't go into the reasons for here because it's not going to matter to anyone who doesn't already know, frankly. He's really inventive and has a really good ability to solve problems as they come up, and that's probably my favorite thing about working with them. I think that having him here drastically increases our chances of survival beyond the next 3 months, which is as long as we have rations for. He's already been able to modify some of the structures that came with the HAB so that we haven't done unprotected enviro walks, I should say that so far. We're still doing all of our spectrographic and germ analysis. But he's been really helpful in terms of modifying some of the tools. The gravity on this planet was much heavier than expected. The core's density must just be insane. Oh my gosh, it's tiring. But yeah, I think we stand a better chance. Dikwa is also fantastic to have along. They may wind up being one of the most valuable members of this crew in terms of helping us all adapt to some of the different proteins that are available here, especially if we want to have any chance of surviving on native proteins, which, you know, there's only so many lentils you can eat, so at some point that might be nice. I've attached some, oh my gosh, there are flying creatures. How do they fly when there's so much gravity? I can't believe it. It's insane. Their wingspan compared to their body size is absolutely extraordinary. Like, I don't know enough about like xenomorphology, I guess you would call it, to say even what they are. They're like half bird, half bat, half dinosaur. And yes, I know that is 3 halves, and that is not scientifically accurate. These things are funky. Anyway, I've attached that picture too. So many pictures. Okay, Dikwa. Oh, yes, they are helping me with assigning the colonist. So this place isn't going to be good for every potential colonist, right? Like, we're still figuring out all of the on-planet variables, but it's clear that some of the families that, you know, are more adapted to the lower gravity environments are really going to struggle here. And Dikra and I have been working really tightly to try and figure out like what those parameters for potential settlers would be. We don't have a solid recommendation yet. I estimate that it will be a further 6 weeks before we are able to complete that analysis and tell you which colony ships, if any, should be dispatched. And working with Horus. Let's see. I think he was there for us, you know? And he's probably the one I'm most worried about now in terms of like being able to adjust, and like there's going to be some flight left. But I think I don't know if he knows how big a difference it's going to be going from interstellar navigation to the geographical and cartological navigation that is going to be so much a part of this mission if we make it out of the hab. I really hope that he's okay with our view of the stars now. I've attached our preliminary survey data. I will note that we have detected, well, Horus detected, really. The man's a freaking math genius. It's insane what he's able to do with raw numbers. And we think it's a G3 level solar storm that's on the way, which means it could have some sort of impact on our power networks here, which may impact our ability to send data further down the line, but we're not going to worry about it yet. The good news is that means very good things for soil bacterium. So we will keep sending data when we can. And here's what I've got so far. It looks promising, if not for everyone. And hopefully we'll all still be here to meet the first crew who arrive. And Zayla is not going to say goodbye, Professor, and she's going to hang up and then make another call really quickly and just say, "Hi, Commander. You don't know me. Dikra gave me your frequency, I guess. You guys should come here. I think you're among the best suited for it. And if you promise, and you have to promise because Dikra has never broken a promise to me. So if you promise not to like do anything stupid and to like help the other colonists when they get here, then I think we can build a frickin' awesome planet together." Bye, Commander.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, so ending the game. At this point, as you described to everyone what your character is like after the mission, it says incorporating the 4 visible qualities. If you wish, you can say what happens to your character after the mission is over, and that's the end of the game. So this basically is kind of a thing where we can go around and say what the last we see of these characters are, what we see them being like, as we fade out. And so I guess for Mark, his visible quality is always fiddling with something. He collects historical photos. He's a pacifist, and he is a former anti-planetary faction member. So this is a thing where I think basically we see him still, just basically branching out to build a large infrastructure for whatever comes, essentially. As he never seems to stop working on things, and there's plenty to work on being here. He will take many new photos because he considers what's happening now to be historic. He does have a lot of regret about his past. And he's trying to do his best to make the present better because of it. Part of that is, if there's resistance, he is not going to fight. He is done being a warrior. He is a pacifist, so that is what he does. I think that's it. I think you see him building I think the last shot we'd see of him would be he's putting together a building that is perhaps intended to be some kind of a school. And that's all we see of him. And we can now go around any order you like and tell us what you wish to about the last bits for your character.
I suppose I'll go next. Zayla has probably planted a massive garden by this point. We'll say maybe Dikra has a very small plot next to that, and Zayla has been trying to teach Dikra how to garden and keep plants alive, and there is one very stubborn plant that happens to be part of that compound Dikra needs that refuses to behave. And maybe at the end you just see Dikra and Zayla kind of hunched over this little garden, and Dikra trying very hard to understand what needs to be done to keep this plant alive, and failing to comprehend, but enjoying the fact that we are in this place, able to talk to each other about things like plants and the weather, and realizing that it's okay to like the softer, smaller, quieter things in life, like tending to plants with a friend. And maybe now Dikra has a couple of new scars from working the land out here, but they carry a different memory. And yes, that is. And yes, the birds are tweeting.
It's like magic.
Yeah, Zayla immediately and literally puts down roots. There might be a little bit of time once they finally determine that the overall environment is safe, with a couple of antibodies and inoculations that Dikra helps synthesize for them. Once they figure out how they can not die when they go outside, they find the nearest areas that look like they have variable soil conditions, test them, and start planting all kinds of different things. There's not one garden, there are many, just to find out where things will grow the best, including several in big old greenhouses with like preserved negative airflow to allow for the preservation of earth and generationship like biomes, and like it's intense. And Zayla is, if anything, happier than she was on the ship. It takes her a long time to get used to outside, and the first time that it rains, she runs and hides because she's never seen anything like it before and doesn't know what's going on. And I think she's very happy with that. Like, this is kind of what she wants to do, and she can't leave, but so far they seem to be going okay.
I think the final shots for Horus is a collection of stops. He stops at where Mark's office is, leaves a photo album, swings by Zayla's lab, and leaves a box of candles. And swings by Deeker's garden, and next to one of the plants that he's noticed them spending a lot of time around, just leaves like a small stuffed animal. And attached to each of these gifts is kind of like a hand-drawn ticket. And it just says on it, admit 1, space flight. And then with that, after having dropped off each of the gifts, it's just a parting scene of him boarding a ship. That's it.
Cool. All right. Well, that is the game. Thank you all so much for playing, for playtesting this. I appreciate it. That was really cool. I've taken some notes about a number of things that I want to kind of tweak a bit. They're very basic. It's about just a few things I want to change for the way things are worded more than anything else, but kind of want to throw in more being able to talk to each other about scene setups. I think that I should probably make that more explicit, and yeah, I don't know about setting direct Q&As in the scenes per se. I was rather just trying to get at the things, but we can. I think that when I throw in examples and such, that'll make it easier. And yeah, I liked how we did the end more just sort of as a montage than anything else, and so I kind of want to make it more a little more like reflective of that than to like make people hammer on the qualities at the end. So this has been very cool. Thank you all very much. I think what we'll go ahead and do then is we'll go ahead and go around. and do our outros. And folks can feel free to say any final thoughts that they have had about playing this game. Just feel free to say where folks can find you, and anything else you want to plug. If you don't manage to get in all of I'm always open to feedback about this. Again, also from folks who are watching, and so if you want to send that to me, feel free. Anyone who would like to, before I forget, anyone who would like to pick up the previous iteration of this game, it'll be updated soon, but that's the link for that. Currently still free. But yeah, it's feel free to give any feedback, and if we don't think of all the feedback right now, you can always give it to me later. That's always fine. But we'll go ahead and do our outros, starting back the other way, starting with Rrok.
Yeah. Well, I'm Rrok. I can be found on Twitter at Rock and Roll. Otherwise, I can be occasionally found, usually here, playing games with, when Jim lets me, and which is always a good time, because Jim always has great games, and he always has great players. As far as thoughts on the game, I really like the game. I like the way it flows. I do think that it is definitely better intended for sort of a mini campaign than a one shot. It's too good for just a 4-hour session. It really is. This is the kind of thing that requires a little bit of time to be able to play and enjoy. So other than that, I had a blast. I really did, being able to play with Alyx and with I'm gonna say this wrong because I never pronounce it right. Where'd my audio go? There it is. Okay. But being able to play with Alyx and being able to play with Ulfrigg and of course, Jim, just great. I mean, it was awesome. I like the fact that, we did check in with each other a couple of times on a couple of topics just to make sure that everybody was doing okay. And, it was a blast.
Very cool, very cool, and I really liked Horace, and was very, very pleased to see how that all unfolded. Very cool, man. Thank you for playing. And we'll head over to Ulfrigg.
Hello. Yes, I go by Ulfrigg online. You can't really find me on the social medias except for Discord. But you can find me on Twitch on Thursdays at 6 p.m. playing in Hyperdrive, The First Ember, a Star Wars-based RPG. Playing a Dathomiri Night Sister. It's awesome. She kicks all the Imperial butt. And then on Saturday, playing another space game, Star Trek Adventures on Story Girls channel, again at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And let's see. As far as this game, really felt I really like it for play-by-post as a good way. Like, it seems like it's a good way for a lot of times play-by-post can stall when you can't get everyone there for key scenes, and the fact that there are so many ways to move forward with smaller divisions or with the entire crew, I think is really lends itself to that format. And let's see. That's kind of the biggest feedback that I have right now. So thank you for letting me play.
Yay, thank you so much for playing. I loved Zayla. It was so good. It was so good. And we'll go over to Alyx.
Hey, I am Alyx. You can find me on Twitter as ALYXWULF. And as always, Jim, delighted to be on your channel and to be playing games. I absolutely loved playing with this group. I'm going to miss these characters. I'm going to miss this story, but that's a mark of a really good storytelling game when, it has to end, but you don't want it to end, but it has to end. Fully agreed with everything Rrok and Ulfrigg said. Also, we'll talk clearly more about this game because I'm in love with it and want to run it now, but definitely loved how, even though we introduced a larger threat at one point, we still kept the story really focused on the crew. Like there was this external factor that was big and looming, but we stayed focused, and that just felt like such a great story to tell, very human and very, for me, I mean, it was just a really great exercise, not only in improv, but also in writing. Like this is a game that people in writing classes could play. Like it's really hard to make up on the fly a little speech about your character and other characters that are being revealed over the course of play. So I want to thank you for that challenge. As far as where you can find me, I'm played in this game today. I will be playing on a Cypher Unlimited stream for Stay Alive tomorrow night. And then I'll be back on Jim's channel on Sunday playing Futurity. And then Sunday evening, I'll be participating in the Invisible Sun Vizsla Happy Hour that our good friend Jason also runs. That is open to anyone who would like to join us. Feel free to DM me on Twitter or any of us. We just don't post the link publicly because we don't want any Zoom crashers. So it is an open thing. We talk about Invisible Sun, but mostly we talk about games. We're going to be talking about old school revival, OSR, tabletop RPGs in the next one. So feel free to come by, have a drink, and hang out. Lovely playing again, and looking forward to the rest of the games this weekend.
Awesome. Well, that leaves me. Thank you all so much for playing, folks. This has been wonderful. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. So what's happening? So tomorrow, Saturday nights, it's generally when we have our Invisible Sun campaign, The Age of Paradox. On Sunday afternoons, we do one-shots. Except when they extend into two shots, like this did. But on this Sunday afternoon, the one-shot we have coming up is Futurity. Which is a game by Summer from Off the Table, where we're going to be playing some oracles who are telling. It's a similar setup in some ways, in that we're telling stories. Only this is more it's kind of a For the Queen thing going on. We're drawing cards and telling stories about the future of our world and who we are. At least the world of those oracles. On Sunday nights, we have our regular. We have our regular Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw, Ghosts of Saltmarsh in Space, run by Alyssa. On Tuesdays, Tuesday afternoons, we are trying to get through to the end of our short campaign of Las Vegas. We've been delayed a little bit, but hopefully we'll get back to it. That's a game which has a rotating GMs. Or the dealer is rotating, and we're in a sort of a twisted reflection of Vegas. Uses tarot cards as its resolution mechanic. Then Tuesday nights this month, we are doing our mini campaign of Monster of the Week. We had our session 0 last Tuesday night, and it was a lot of fun. And they're throwing down even more lore for me in the Discord chat that we've had going on, and so I'm looking very much forward to doing that 3-episode arc that'll be coming up. Then Wednesday nights, Soon again, hopefully, we'll be having our Masks campaign, which is run by Mole Thulu. We're getting into our second volume, and so more strangeness will be coming out as a result. Lots of superheroic teen angst, which is a lot of fun. Especially now that we did a session 1 week ago. We did a session of Starcrossed in the same time slot between my character and one of the other characters, because to show what happened with them over a 6-month period, and which was actually a period of 1 day because we had a Groundhog Day thing going on. But it was very cool, and we've developed that relationship out. So that also Thursday, the 16th, I believe it is, should be the premiere of our short campaign of The Sprawl, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse cyberpunk game that is going to be run by our guest MC Brian, and I am very much looking forward to it, to kind of see what we do with that. We've got our cast together, and we're gonna just I guess sort of do our session 0 on Thursday. So very much looking forward to it. Let's see. Right now, signups are open. Have just been opened for a one-shot a little later in the month of Weird Wars. This is we're going to be doing Weird War 2. That's a Savage Worlds game that basically is about all manner of strange, monstrous creatures showing up in the heat of battle. So it's a horror, dark conspiracy game, and this one is set, of course, during World War II. So lots of conspiracies to delve into there. So very much looking forward to getting into that and seeing how things go. So if anyone wants to sign up for anything, that's going to be, you can go down below and click on RPG sign up, or go to gymyesthatgym.com and click on game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. So when we hit the end card, we're going to send a raid over to Trooper SJP. Speaking of the Second World War, they are there running City of Light and Shadow. It is a Fate game set during the French Resistance. There is awesome role-playing that goes on there. And so we're going to go ahead and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you so desire and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all so very much for watching. Take care, and I will see you all of a sudden. Farewell.